curious thing happened to me last night while I was scrolling through Instagram. Primetime Golf was saying how excited he was to see Sahith Theegala in the Sentry
Tournament of Champions.
I saw this and I thought to myself, wait a second, Sahith Theegala has never won on the PGA Tour. Yes, he's a young stud. He's going to win a lot of times in the future. But up till now, he's only won that two-man team QBE tournament, whatever it was, with Tom Hoge or however you pronounce his name. So under what I thought was the typical requirements to get into the Sentry Tournament of Champions, that you had to win to get in, Sahith didn't qualify. And this led me down one of those holes in Alice in Wonderland. Let's get into this episode together. There's a lot to get through, and I think this tournament is going to tell us a lot about how the PGA Tour season is going to set up in terms of qualifications for this whole year, and potentially how they will adjust related to live golf tournaments. So this article by the Golf Channel, owned in part by the PGA Tour, has the title Full Field for Sentry Tournament of Champions, 17 of top 20, but no Rory McIlroy. Maybe the title should mention the fact that the defending champion Cameron Smith isn't playing, and he had set the tournament record last year of 34 under. Also, no mention of this limited field event. There's only 39 players, is that there's no cut. But hey, we're still giving official World Golf Ranking points out, boys. So here you can see we've got 17 of the top 20 in the official World Golf Ranking. No Rory McIlroy, and the reason why this is interesting is because this is the first year where we have these elevated events. And you can see here, world number one Rory McIlroy will not be competing. Despite this being among the tour's designated events, you gotta play. He is skipping the limited field no-cut tournament. Players in accordance with the tour's Players Impact Program regulations are allowed to miss one of the 17 designated events without an excuse. So I don't know if that means he can miss another event if he just has a good excuse, or there's the Rory excuse. Remember, Rory finished second to Tiger Woods in last year's Players Impact Program money list appearance fee. Shouldn't say that. It's not an appearance fee because it's after the fact money program. So let's just see how now world number one Rory, already missing one event without an excuse, if he's able to miss more designated events and what excuses he uses that potentially other people wouldn't be able to use. Not saying they're playing favorites, but they're playing favorites. Here we go. World number 3 Cam Smith and number 20 Shane Lowry are the only other top 20 players missing the tournament. Smith, who won this tournament last year with a tour record 34 under par performance, has been suspended by the tour for joining Live Golf. Great job to suspend the defending champion who set the tournament record and instead have guys who have never won before like Sahith Theegala or Cameron Young, or guys whose last win was 6-7 years ago like Scott Stallings. This whole new FedEx Cup top 30 to get in if you're not otherwise qualified really waters down the field. Taylor Gooch, despite being suspended from the PGA Tour in June because he played in a live golf event, he still accumulated enough points throughout the season to still finish in the top 30 of the FedEx Cup list. We're going to get into why I find this whole thing, quite frankly, unacceptable. And it's based on the whole point of promises given, promises broken. Among those scheduled to compete at Kapalua Plantation Course are Scotty Scheffler, Jon Rahm, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Xander Schauffele, Tony Finau, Colin Morikawa, and Will Zalatoris. Colin Morikawa finished top 30 on the FedEx Cup money list last year. Otherwise, wouldn't have qualified for this year. No wins last year. And here's our sweet list. I looked up Ryan Brehm. He won the Puerto Rican Open. It was the opposite field event against the Arnold Palmer Invitational. He got 24 official World Golf Ranking points for that. Don't know if I know anyone in the field. Corey Connors, pretty sure he hasn't won, at least not last year. Also one of these top 30 guys on the money list. FedEx Cup list. Brian Harman, he didn't win last year. Mackenzie Hughes, not sure. KH Lee, chalk him up for the Houston Open every year. Hideki Matsuyama, don't remember if he won last year. So now you have 39 players in the field of the Tournament of Champions, in which a few guys have never won before on the PGA Tour. And this is what we'll get into as we see how the PGA Tour is going to water down every event. You can't highlight this fact more than by having a Tournament of Champions that includes players who've never been a champion. And here's the smoking gun. I'm glad you stayed to this part because it's going to leave you with trust issues. And by trust issues, I mean mostly related to the PGA Tour and what they say. The title of this article is Eligibility Criteria Added to 2021 Sentry Tournament of Champions. Amended PGA Tour and canceled events require a shift in player qualification categories. Remember, this is from May 1st, 2020. Kapalua, Maui, Hawaii. As a result of changes to professional golf calendar made by the PGA Tour due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the 2020 Sentry Tournament of Champions field will include an additional qualification category. Winners from the 2020 calendar year will continue to qualify, while players from the top 30 from the FedEx Cup playoffs list who qualify for the 2020 Tour Championship will be eligible for the 2021 event at the Plantation Course. We are committed to the winners-only nature of the field at the Sentry Tournament of Champions that has made this an elite event on the PGA Tour since it moved to Kapalua in 1999. However, these are unprecedented circumstances. An additional category was needed for the 2021 event. Due to the circumstances related to the COVID-19 pandemic that resulted in 13 events from the 2019 to 20 PGA Tour season to be canceled or postponed, that's why we have this additional qualification. And it wasn't meant to be a forever thing. The new eligibility criteria will only be in place for the 2021 Sentry Tournament of Champions. Yet here we are, 2023, and now you slipped it in there. And people are confused. People don't realize, oh wait, I thought it was still the old standard champions only, as it's been since, I believe, 1953. Suddenly, let's go back in here, try to water down our fields a little bit more with guys who haven't even won period yet in a champions only event. I certainly hope the drinks at PGA Tour events aren't going to be as watered down as their fields moving forward. This is some serious weak sauce. Get in the comment section below and let me know what you think. Primetime Golf, no need to thank me for my service. I know you do it for me too, buddy. Peace out.